Hey, what's going on? This is E. Jones, Bottom to the Top Hoops, here with Coach Peter Wehye Jr.,
Yes, sir.
Esquire, extraordinaire,
Yes, sir.
my brother, man.
Bless him, man.
The job that you're doing here at OSL, we are here at OSL, my alma mater.
Yes.
I still got the rebounding record too. 34 rebounds in the game.
Yes, you do.
Just in case Max think he's gonna break that. Just tell him about that.
He got to rebound a little bit more.
Yeah. So, man, you didn't start at OSL.
No.
It started in Brooklyn.
Absolutely.
And we welcomed you with open arms to the BX.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
But man, Peter Wehye Jr. that people know now is a product of a lot of mentorship, stories, hooping. Where did the hoop story start at?
Brownsville Salvation Army. That's where everything started.
Okay.
And people could look and say PS 41, but everything started in Brownsville, Salvie.
You know what they say about Brownsville?
Yeah.
Never ran, never win.
Hey, we had a lot of ball players in that gym. And after school and night center was very, very important. And we had guys like Javon Johnson and Keith Norris, who was actually Keith Norris ran the Bushwick Salvation Army, and he had a lot of players over there that he would train. And we would go over there and we would train with the guys, whether it be Omar Cook would be in there, Jamal Tinsley, Abdul Mills, all of these guys, and it would be me, Jerome Coleman, who was there, Anthony Williams. We would definitely, and of course, my brother Six and Ramel Brown, the list goes on and on.
Wow.
The Brownsville guys would go there.
Hooping.
Yeah, we would go there, man, but those guys we would learn how they would work out, they would do different things, and you got really a lot of blessings to Javon Johnson and Keith Norris, who really schooled me through this game.
So now you start to play, and obviously you start to get better.
Yes.
And you pick Lincoln.
Man.
Did you start at Lincoln?
Yeah, so I started at Lincoln.
That ain't Brownsville side.
No, I actually went
I ain't from Brooklyn, but I know Cody Allen in Brownsville.
I actually went cross town and wasn't really focused on really the game when I got to Lincoln.
Okay.
I think I was caught up in a lot of the the hoopla, being taking a long train ride and hanging with guys. But once my junior year came,
kind of focused in and locked in on hoops.
I focused and locked in on hoops. I mean, I played my sophomore year in JV, but wasn't really disciplined.
Okay.
Didn't really, it wasn't really as serious as varsity was. And Tiny, who actually coached me in high school.
Tiny Morton, big shout out to Tiny we had on the show.
Yes, big shout out to Tiny. Tiny actually taught me, man, hard work and really pushed me in different ways that I didn't realize I knew I could be pushed, man. So really big shouts out to him, man, because he really coached me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was tough, and he really took a risk because he was a young coach. He started out, but he had a lot of Coney Island guys. And I think that year, my junior year, I think I was the only crosstown player on the team. We had another kid named Rasheen that was from Starlight City, but Rasheen Perry, big shout out to Kuntha, is what they call him, but he didn't stay the whole time.
Okay, so you was the only dolo solo out there, coming from the Sill, coming from the Ville.
And Tiny, man, a lot of praises to him because of a young kid just trying to figure it out. He helped me a lot.
So you hoop, you navigate your way through Lincoln, and you decide to go to HBCU.
Yes, before that I went to Hesse College in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Okay.
And then I was recruited after going there, being an all-conference player. I then went to Lincoln University.
Okay, did you start, how many years did you play at Hesse in New Hampshire?
2, I played 2 years.
Okay, so you started at JUCO first.
I started at JUCO.
And then they recruited you to go to Lincoln.
Yes, so I did 2
So how
years.
was that, I mean, I know how it is, but just to share with the people, it's going from New Hampshire
96% white.
to go to HBCU.
Well, the reason why I wanted to do it was because after being in New Hampshire, and it's 96% white, you know what I'm saying? When I went on the visit to Lincoln,
You was home.
man, I was home.
It felt good.
It felt
The step team.
the step team.
You went on a visit. Was like, I don't think I'm looking anywhere else, right?
It was beautiful because I had the opportunity to go to Fitchburg State, which was another white situation, and I just think as a young black male, I was in that situation, survived it, didn't really do nothing crazy, but just wanted to experience something different in college.
Right. So now you were fortunate enough to play, graduate.
Yes.
right? Which is super important. What did you
Yes.
get your degree in?
So I got my degree in psychology, my associate's in psychology, and then I then got I finished it with Lincoln with my bachelor's in psychology with a minor in minor in sociology, excuse me.
Okay, cool. So now, do you go right into coaching after hooping?
Absolutely. What happened is that I went to JUCO and I got my associates. When I went to Lincoln, Lincoln is a liberal arts school.
Okay.
So which means that the classes that I had to take more than the necessary that was allotted. So I ended up doing 2.5 years there.
I know the story. I've been there.
So I did 2.5 years there. So once my eligibility was up, I coached under Bobby Byers, Robert Byers, who was there. So I got.
He took care of you?
He took care of me. I played for him. So obviously I coached there for 1 season.
Oh, nice, nice. I did the same thing actually.
Yeah, before I came home.
The grades wasn't done, so we had to finish up. He's like, I guess you're gonna have to coach, and you're gonna have to get in practice. So
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
So when you got that coaching bug, did you feel like, okay, maybe I should pursue this at a different level?
Oh man, the crazy part is I got the coaching bug, but no, that wasn't even my thought process, man.
Really?
I came back, I got my degree, and I was one of those guys that just didn't want to listen. Everybody's dream is to go pro.
Right.
But that wasn't happening for me.
Right.
Okay, it's very clear, right? So
you understood that.
So my understanding wasn't to go play semi-pro or go play anything like that. So I said, listen, I want to try to use my degree. So I went and did social work, man, and it was crazy, man. I was a social worker for like 3 years, right?
Where?
At New York Urban League, man, in Brownsville, man. Big.
Ooh, you brought it back to the crib.
So and that taught me a lot of different things because in my house, and my mom, you know, we were struggling, but my mom, it was a different living. Once I was a social worker and I went into places,
You had to go to the crib.
Man, I said, Ma, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't realize that they are. I thought
struggle and then the struggle.
Yeah, and I'm like, Dad, you know, I was crying for different things, and I didn't realize how it really was. But
you talking about getting the J's? They talking about, yo, we need lights.
Yeah, we need food.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it was very, very different. And I think what got me, to be honest with you, is that I was actually pretty good in it. I had a large workload was supposed to be 15 families. Man, I'm at like 23 families, and people are coming.
But you was relatable. You was from the area.
But the problem was, man, I heard everybody problems all day.
Yeah.
So
that get heavy, man.
And after like 3 years of it, man, I'm like, this can't be life, man.
Okay.
And I decided, I'm like, look, I've had basketball in my life so much, so now I just watch it on TV. You know what I'm saying? And my brother's away at school, so I can't really, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't in it.
I'm not in it, so and this is crazy because I'm finally gonna say this, but you know, obviously I no longer work for the Urban League, so I could be truthful. But I took a leave of absence.
Okay.
And I gave them reasons for my leave of absence, but the truth of the matter is that it had to be more than life than what I was experiencing. And I needed basketball. Oh, listen. So I went to a gentleman by the name of Gus Alfieri. He ran All-American basketball camp in Long Island.
Okay.
This was the start of, you could say, Peter Wehye, if you want to say it like that. I went and I interviewed. And I said, you know, while I was taking a leave of absence, right, I went and I did this camp and said basketball was what I wanted to do. So I did a week at his basketball camp, right? And they gave me a nickname. They called me Milkman, right? So this one kid said, I don't even know if they still do that, but the kid said, he looks like my milkman. So the joke was Milkman. So I had these young Caucasian kids who didn't really have that much experience in basketball, and I'm training them. And just like you see me on the sidelines now, I'm on the sideline with these kids.
Same way.
And all of a sudden, man, these kids went from being the laughing stock to we actually lost in the championship of the little, the camp. And Gus Alfieri came and said, listen, because a bunch of parents came in and said, listen, we will pay for the rest of the 5 weeks if Milkman will be our child's coach.
We need that milk.
Yeah. And Gus Alfieri, it was crazy because
I know what Gus did. You ain't got to tell me how this story is.
After the week, Gus, the parents came, they gave me all of these tips and bonuses with gallons of milk and stuff like it was ridiculous. We couldn't even use all of it.
Right.
But you know, with symbolism and obviously Gus signed me for the other 5 weeks, right?
Right. And then you got a lot of cards with a lot of thank yous in it.
A lot of cards, a lot of thank yous. But the last week, I met a man by the name of Matthew Fusco, and Matthew Fusco introduced me. Matthew Fusco had 2 sons, and he asked me, do I personally train? And I said, well, why not? So we would go out to parks and we would personally train, but when the summer was getting to the end, he was like, I want you to continue to train.
Right.
So he said, I got a guy I want you to meet. And he walked me into this office, and I met a dude by the name of Jim Fox.
Okay, Island Garden.
Island Garden. And Jim Fox, you know what I'm saying, basically, we sat down, we spoke, then we worked out a deal so I could do some training at Island Garden. And, you know, so I could rent some court time, and I could really start my business, and, you know, I started Next Level Sports and Fitness.
So that was your business you started?
Yes. And then we did all of the training. It was only me, it ain't we, right? It was only me, so I did a lot of the training I did all of the training out of Island Garden.
But you were still living in Brooklyn?
I was still living in Brooklyn, so I would just drive out and I did all of my training, so.
So where does the segue? It sounds like, I sound like we turning the corner now. New York Lightning is coming around the corner somewhere, right?
New York Lightning is, so at this time.
New York Lightning was operating out of?
So yes, New York Lightning was operating out of Island Garden, but my main focus was Christopher Sixway. So I wanted to give him the
Your little
opportunity.
brother.
My little brother. So what I started doing was using that time to train him, to do different things with him. And in that process of training, I went back to Keith Norris. And I went back to Keith Norris. I met a dude by the name of D'Antonio Mixon. So,
Big shout out to X-Men.
Big shout out to X-Men Basketball Association,
Yes.
man. X-Men for life.
Yeah. Y'all Brooklyn dudes, y'all say it like y'all
God, I love this.
Yeah.
Listen, D, and I went there, and D, Six was just playing for X-Men. I mean, and you know, let me just put it in perspective. I see D at Bushwick Salvation Army with Keith, and I happen to be in the stands at EBC.
Right.
I'm over there, I'm chilling with Leslie Sims, shout out to Lala. She was Greg Marius' cousin.
Okay.
And she knew
Greg
that.
Marius, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, yes, rest in peace to Greg, man.
EBC.
And also big shout out to his son, Ra.
Yep.
There's a lot of love for that family. And they let me sit in VIP, so I'm in there with the artists and all of that, you know, and I'm soaking it up. And the next game was coming on, and D'Antonio walks out. So I run to D'Antonio and I'm like, look, dude, my brother is nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm going crazy. And he's like, are you sure? Like, and I'm like, listen, you need to call Keith Norris. So that night, D called me and said, listen, I heard your brother could play, bring him down. So I actually, man, and D, if anybody know X-Men and D'Antonio, we played 7 tournaments in a day, okay? 7 days a week.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So
TMP style.
Yeah, so I'm basically in my Honda Accord at the time, and I'm basically chauffeuring guys around. And I'm in the crowd, and I'm yelling. And D came over to me and was like, look, dude, you want to coach? And I'm like, it ain't about me, it's about my brother.
Right.
And you know, D was like, nah, man, I think you could coach. And then D let me know that he was actually he said, I want to bring you on the X-Men, but I want you to also know that I am the head coach of the Strong Island Sound ABA. And that's really where my coaching tree started, because I started doing pro tournaments, and D, I was coaching under D for a long time while I'm training at Island Garden. So I'm training. But it's basketball. Oh, it's all basketball, and I'm getting all the experience. So I did both. You know what I mean? And 2 great things happened.
Okay.
At 2 different times, which led me to where I am today. A 6th grader father came to watch me for like 3 months, and asked me to train his son, and said his son would be really good. Right? The man's name was Jesse Govan Sr.
God bless him.
God bless him. Rest in peace to Big Jess. And he said, my son. So I started training this kid, Jesse Govan, man. Jesse Govan Jr. put him through everything.
Right.
Okay? So I'm training him at the time, and I'm coaching X-Men, and then I'm the head coaching, and in 2011, 2011, we win first, I gotta say with it, first Brooklyn team to win EBC, non-uptown team.
Right.
2011. Let's
You're
check
looking in the
that.
camera now.
Let's check that. Right, but we ain't gonna talk about 2008 when X-Men won Tournament of Champions as well. Mike Campbell, Player of the Summer. Big shout out to Mike Campbell, Raphael Edwards, all of the X-Men family. I just want to give my respect to my dudes.
Cut the sandwich in four. Go ahead.
And in 2011, we happened to win. We won Fireball that year.
Big shout out to Ricky Rivers.
Big shout out to Ricky Rivers. D'Antoni was the head coach on that. I was the head coach. We won West 4th. And then we it was great for us to play against Team Nike. And I remember allowing D'Antoni Mixon to coach that one because he was our head. After 2011, I had a candid conversation with a great man that I hold dear, my mentor now, as well as D'Antoni, who's still my mentor. But I had a conversation, man. This dude, I'm about to tell you his name, but man, it would be Saturday or Sunday, man. He'd come, he'd meet me at the gym. He'd look at me, he'd be like, "Yo, dude, you are crazy," because I would be training from 8 in the morning, and I think my last client was at 8 p.m. So I had a client on the hour. And so I would be in there. And same energy working, and he was like, "Yo, this dude is crazy." And but every time I was at a crossroad, he would pop up, and have a conversation with me, man. And really big shouts out to Dana Dingle, man. Dana came every day, asked me, what's my dreams? What am I trying to do? I mean, one of the great men. And, he told me, you wanted the opportunity, because I was coaching grown men. And I've almost, I don't want to say reached the pinnacle, but I've come from the assistant and I won. So he basically just, he basically said, "Yo, you want to help kids." And I told him what my dream was to get into college coaching. And he helped guide me. And he asked me, did I want to come on the New York Lightning? And the crazy part is that he asked me, they ain't sell me, ain't give me no gear, I didn't even know that they were EYBL at the time. I think this was the first year. And I just was trying to help kids and really put Jesse and you know what I'm saying, in a situation where he could prosper because he had a couple of bad situations. So basically the summer of 2012,
New York Lightning,
man. I was Dana Dingle's assistant coach. For the 15U, basically the 2015 team, and I got the opportunity to meet some great guys. DeJour Bowie, the list goes on and on. Where I developed a relationship with the kids, which was different from what I did with the pro athletes and the dudes who played overseas.
Big shout out to Dana Dingle and Shandu McNeil.
New York Lightning, man.
Amazing job with the Lightning. And you're fortunate enough to be able to come into a situation. And I'm an alumni, so first of all, I'm proud. Let me just say that. Look, I'm proud of the job you're doing on camera. I was here. I was here, right? Before you coached a game. We dedicated that Coach Booker court.
Absolutely.
One day I'm gonna play the video back for you.
You're a big part of this, brother.
Listen, we're not talking about me. You said, my goal is to bring OSL basketball back to the prominence of what it once was under Coach Booker and his family, and do honor to his name and all of the players who played here in the past who happen to be sitting in the stands.
Absolutely.
You said that 4 years ago.
Yeah, man.
And nobody knew, nobody had an idea. It was just the pastor, you and your brother, a bunch of old legends, and some people who just happen to want to see what's going on. And now,
oh man,
the many Division I kids,
humble,
the TV, the internet, all of the hoopla.
Humble.
Your role has changed.
Humble.
What does that feel like now? Bring it into perspective of, you called your own shot.
Yeah, man, but you know, people don't know, year one, man, we started 2-7, man. Nobody would pick up my phone call. We played 16 scrimmages that year. Nobody would give me a game. And I remember starting out 2-7. Everybody's telling me I couldn't coach, and what was I doing?
You was a trainer. Pete's a trainer.
Pete don't know what he's doing.
Right.
Pete don't understand it, and I think...
Get it off your chest, bro.
Well, let me just say it. First of all, big shout out to Shandu McNeil, because he helped me change perspectives. Mm-hmm. I was now a head coach.
Yeah.
So I drew up the plays, mm-hmm. right? I'm coming in there, I'm running my stuff. This is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Whew, we gonna run 2 blue, let's go. I know how I should look, you know?
Uh-huh.
Or at least I thought I did. And then we were losing.
Yeah,
and
2-7.
2-7. And Cher was like, why are you calling the play every time down?
Right.
And I thought about it, and I really didn't have an answer. And my answer is that instead of me coach to the children, mm-hmm. right? I wanted a chance to beat to my own drum. I wanted to now I'm a head coach, I get to do what I want.
And you wanted to prove something.
And I wanted to prove something. And I realized that I was putting myself before the kids. And that was probably the deepest moment where everything changed. Because
and it changed big.
Yeah, it changed huge, because we won 10 straight after that. Once I decided to say, you know what, I got a fast point guard that wants to play out in space, and he a freshman, and he's only gonna grow, so I gotta let him go. And I had a superstar, you could say superstar role player, superstar player, Jared Roden, who no matter what you drew up and where you put him, you're just gonna get a bucket.
Selflessness, man.
Yes, so you know, that changed everything.
I sat here and I talked to Posh on camera, and I said, mm-hmm. Do you realize that when you decided to come to OSL,
huge.
Like the stamp and the validation came, and it made it easier for recruitment, it made it easier to do it. It still was a struggle, but that made OSL official.
Man.
Obviously, Jared came after Posh.
Posh, belief in what we were doing.
Man, wait till you hear about what he had to say about you. You might cry.
Man, belief in what we were doing. It was crazy. He had options.
You know what he said to me on camera?
I don't know if we should do it right now, man.
He said,
I'm trying to save all this for senior night, my God.
He said, Coach P, I'm not going to give everything, but he said, one of the main reasons I came to OSL is because Coach Pete preached defense, and I love to play defense. And I told my moms and my pops, after a game on the weekend, I'm coming to OSL to go to Coach Pete.
He called me, and when he said that, I said, yo, young fella, don't play with me. he said, Pete, I told my pops, I told my moms, I'm gonna come. And I remember me going to see Keisha, going to see Paul, and it being official that he's coming. Mm-hmm. And I remember the excitement I had, because once I said he coming, mm-hmm. once he said he coming, and it was etched.
Yeah.
Man, Jared Roden, let me tell you something.
Yes.
Posh Alexander's coming.
Yeah,
and I'm in his living room like this. And I'm looking at Matthew, and I'm looking at Rosa, and I'm like, what we gonna do?
Right.
What we gonna do? And I think that was the biggest point, because those were the 2 cornerstones of what we wanted to do.
Talking about building it. Big shout out to John Arnold.
Oh my God, John Arnold. Oh man, big shout out, John Arnold. Thank you. Because people don't know, it was hard to recruit Jared Roden.
Long Island kid coming all the way to the Bronx.
And John.
Leaving family.
And Rosa, his mom.
Yeah.
Loving woman, very great woman.
That wasn't an easy sell.
That wasn't an easy sell at all. And Rosa, look where we are now. I know you wanted to kill me so many times. And Rosa Roden had a belief in what we was doing. But I give Rosa Roden and Keisha big kudos, because this is something that we started with housing and different things like that. They helped me out a lot, being different type of homemakers and how the home should be and what things that I needed to know.
You ready for the last thing I talked about to Posh about?
I don't know if I'm ready, but we gonna go with it.
I said, what's it gonna be like on the last day, man? Senior night.
I don't even want to know, man. Yo,
All right, let's stay in the moment. Let's stay in the moment. Let's stay in the moment.
Because this kid.
I know.
Me
You're gonna have me crying.
possible,
Look. But look, man. We like to have some fun on the show too.
Oh, absolutely.
Greatest moment since you've been here at OSL?
Oh, man.
I like to ask the tough questions, bro.
Jesus. Oh, man, my greatest moment is probably the saddest moment. 2 years ago, we were 32-5. We had our highest ranking ever, and 19th in the country. And we went and we played in the grind session. It was our first year in the grind session. You know what I'm saying? And oh, shucks, I got 2 moments.
These Brooklyn dudes.
I got 2
man.
moments, Jesus.
You gotta speed it up, man.
Okay, I'm gonna speed it up. So, all right, so boom. So the greatest moment, man, was probably one of the saddest moments. The first year we went to the grind session, we got all the way to the semifinal. And I didn't know whether guys cared about it. We was ranked, you know what I'm saying? And kept going back and forth with guys, and we was receiving some sort of, people were showing us love, so dudes ain't, I didn't know if they cared. So we lost in the semifinal. And when I got to the locker room, couldn't find Posh, couldn't find Jared. And Rams, Deshaun Davis was in there upset at me. And we just lost the game. And I went to Deshaun, and Deshaun is like, Pete, and I was like, dude, you were tired. Deshaun, who's very, one of the toughest guys, got a little bit emotional. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't find Jared. So we went to find Jared. We found Jared on the side of the ice. He was like in the ice room, on the side of the ice machine, crying. And when I went to him, he was like, Pete, I'm sorry. And I'm like, no, you great beyond measure. So I'm getting him up, and I'm trying to get him back. And then we looking for Posh. Posh is in the back bathroom, right, in the shower, with the shower strip, with it closed, right, crying. And I remember opening it, and he's like, Pete, I'm sorry. And I said, Posh, you a freshman.
Wow.
Posh said, I got you next year, right? And my whole thing is, that's what it means to be a part of OSL.
Right.
That's what it means. It's family, it's unity. And these guys want it for me as much as I want it for them. And that's something that I didn't realize it, and especially with all 3 of them coming after the game and saying, Coach, you know what? We stayed up last night, we was tired. That was definitely on us. Showed me that I'm doing something.
Right.
And I think that was the biggest piece for me.
Last question. When it's all said and done, coaching career's over, you 65 years old with grandkids in a rocking chair. Savannah's sitting there right there next to you.
Word.
Big shout out to Savannah.
Savannah,
big shout out to Lindsay.
Lindsay Jackson, I can't forget her. Cannot forget.
Yeah.
My fiance,
soon to
my
be
partner in crime, yes.
Lindsay Wehye.
Yes.
Right?
You can call her that now, even though she might say otherwise, but we good.
What will people say about Peter Wehye as a coach and as a person when it's all said and done?
Man,
what do you want them to say?
Oh, man, that he gave us everything.
Okay.
He gave us everything. He loved us, he guided us, and he wanted the best for us. I think everything else they got to want for themselves. I think that you give that push, and I just want to just be remembered for me trying to give that push and breathing life into them. And
Let me ask you one more question. I'm going to ask you one more. What does the future for OSL basketball look like?
National stage. Like, people thought I was crazy, but national stage, we here now. I think that
is it scary at all?
you put the work
That's
in.
what the kids say, man. You got y'all like robots. Y'all program. We put the work in. We expect to be here.
When you put the work in,
We are OSL.
this is what it is, because what
7, 8, 9. Eat.
because what happened is that, believe it or not, we right now, we #1 in the grind session.
Yep.
We got some big signature wins, but I'm not enjoying it. It's the next one up.
Make sure you enjoy it, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I think
Listen, I'm a victim of it. Make sure you enjoy it. Be present in the moment.
Yeah.
Take a minute to take it in. you can still be next play mentality, but you got to enjoy it. So more than anything, man, thank you for taking the time. Best of luck. Let's get to it.
Yes,
E.
sir.
Jones, Peter Wehye Jr., OSL, Bottom to the Top Hoops. You're watching the Bottom to the Tops with the Black Elvis City Legends. We out.
Coach Pete, OSL, you watching from the bottom to the top.